So my name is Leslie. I am the one of the dietetic interns here with Chef in the Food Bank. I like to tell people that I'm almost a registered dietitian because that's pretty much where I'm at right now, in that weird middle stage. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm sure y'all recognize me from the past couple of classes too, so I'm excited to be on this side of the teaching part. So given that this will be one of our last classes before the holiday break or Christmas, I wanted to do like a holiday themed kind of treat today. We prepared a dark chocolate bark, holiday kind of edition for y'all today, and we'll kind of talk about it. And then we're also going to kind of put together a holiday trail mix. And one of the main things that I kind of wanted to talk about today was snacking. The main focus about today's lesson is smart snacking. So I'm introducing a couple of snacks that are good, things that we're kind of used to seeing out on the shelves, whether it's at HB or Costco or something, but we're kind of making it a little bit more healthy. You know, we're putting more ingredients that have more purpose, you know, whether it's more protein or iron, or it's helping us with absorbing or that kind of thing. And then also we're making it fun. Okay, I thought, what better recipe to share with you guys, because I feel like this would be something nice to share with other people. You can wrap it up in a little bag or something like that, and it'd be really nice to give for the holiday season. So first things first, we'll go over the chocolate bark, the dark chocolate bark. Allie and I prepped it this morning, so we have it just for sampling. We're not really going to make it, but we can talk a little bit about how we made it. We used 8 ounces of dark chocolate. So we used the semi-sweet chocolate, which has about, it's not necessarily dark chocolate, but it still has the bitter taste of the dark chocolate that we're kind of looking for. Additionally, there's half a cup of pistachios in there, which are going to add a little bit of protein, give us some healthy fats, and it's a great source of iron in our little snack here. Additionally, we're going to add some orange, small zest of orange, which I can actually show you. Now, the really nice thing about zesting orange is, and I guess I could do it just on this. Actually, I'm going to do it on a piece of paper because, I'm going to do it on a paper towel. So one of the cool things about this recipe was we had to zest the orange to kind of give it a little bit more flavor. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried the pairing of chocolate with orange. It's such a delicious pairing. I've even had like a chocolate dipped orange peels, and those were very interesting. I know a couple of classes ago, we had Miss Diane talking about even eating skins of fruits and stuff because they contain the most fiber. So that's one of those things where we're actually zesting it and adding it into our recipe. So here we have this nice little microplane. It's got like a little hole in back here, and then this is where a grater kind of comes in. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of zest it here, and we're slowly just going to kind of rotate the orange. There's not much with the zesting. When you're zesting, you really just want to take the top layer off. When you have white on your orange, you're doing it too much. You're really just kind of trying to get the orange part off of the top of our orange, and just kind of we're releasing that oil that's really going to kind of elevate our flavor profile and whatever it is that we're making. So this is a really fun thing to kind of have. Oftentimes, like this Thanksgiving, I made a holiday sangria, and it actually needed zested orange and orange juice. So what I did was I zested the orange, and I cut up the orange, and I used the orange juice. And that was my way of kind of reducing food waste. So even if you could find orange in any other recipes, or if you want to pour yourself out a glass of orange juice after you zest your orange, that would be very beneficial. So really what we're doing is we're just zesting this orange. I'm going to do the whole thing. And it's still good. You know, I think if anything, when the skin is off, all you have to do really now is worry about keeping it fresh in the fridge, or you could make some fresh orange juice. So just kind of going around and zesting. So this was one of the ingredients that was in here, and you'll be able to taste it in the chocolate bark. So once we kind of got everything out, we're just kind of tapping it. And we have this wonderful, wonderful, let me see, let me put this here. This wonderful zested orange. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass it around and you guys can kind of smell it. I'm gonna use one of these plates. I'll hand this to you, sorry. And you guys can really smell the orange. And one of the cool things about orange is that it has oil. And so you'll smell the oil, you'll feel it on your skin. And it's one of those things that really just can add a lot of really good flavor, whether it's like the salad that we made last week, the chocolate bark, you could add it in pies. We added it in the sangria and it was very good. So you can definitely put it in different things. So, and it really, really is very interesting the way it really kind of brings out and brightens up flavors in your meal. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to go ahead and cut the orange and we'll just enjoy it. So I'm going to cut it halfways using the bear claw method, and we're just going to kind of cut it down. We have a beautiful orange here, and then we'll put the flat side down as always, and then we'll just kind of cut it into fourths here. And we'll just go down, still using that bear claw method where you're kind of making the knife go down on your knuckles rather than on your fingers. And then we'll kind of do here on this side as well. And then I will go ahead and put some orange here. And then we can pass out some orange and we can snack on some orange for this. So that was kind of an interesting thing that we had to do for this recipe. Chocolate and orange is kind of a familiar flavor for people who are exposed to it, but if you aren't, it's very good, and we'll definitely try it now, and you'll get to try it. So after the zesting of the small orange, that was more of a medium-sized orange, but we needed some dry figs, but since we're doing a holiday-themed bark, we decided to do cranberries instead. So the cranberries really are going to just add some of those antioxidants that we talked about a couple of classes ago. It's also an anti-inflammatory food, and it's also just going to add some nice fruit, some nice dried fruit into your trail mix, or not in your trail mix, in your chocolate bark, but we will add it into your trail mix as well. And then additionally, we put some fresh rosemary, another yummy holiday style type of herb that we're really used to using. It only called for half a teaspoon, so what I did was I grabbed maybe about 4 or 5 sprigs and I just cut it in half to release those oils again and sprinkled it on top. Next, we added some ground cinnamon, which was added into the chocolate as well. So the way we kind of did this is you could do a double boiler where you grab a saucepan, you fill it with water, and you grab about like a metal bowl. You would add the chocolate in there and let the water boil, and that would melt off your chocolate. And you would then add in all of your ingredients, and leaving some aside, and then you'll have something like this. So what we did was, once it was all melted down and we added our ingredients, what we did was we put it on some parchment paper, and I'm looking for my gloves. Let me grab some real quick. So we put it on some parchment paper, and we basically just kind of spread it out, as evenly as possible. This recipe can get you 12 servings broken up. So we spread it out with our little spatula, and then Allie had this great idea to press another piece of parchment paper on top to kind of press it down and help us spread it out a little bit more and make it thin. So that's what we did, and surprisingly, I was kind of nervous because I'm not sure if it's gonna stick, but it peels right off, as you guys can see. So it peels right off. Super nice. We made it this morning around 9:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So it only took about 30 minutes to cool down in the freezer. And so what we'll do now, and the nice thing about this, is we'll just kind of break it up. Additionally, I almost forgot, let's see. I added, to kind of make it more of a holiday style bark, besides the rosemary that's in there, I'm gonna crack it, is I added some peppermint. We crushed up some peppermint, right? We got a peppermint and we crushed it up, we double bagged it and we crushed it up using, we used either the bottom of a glass bowl, or you could use a rolling pin. You could even use, really, what we're going to use today is the back of our measuring cups to kind of bang it down a little bit and get you a nice consistency of little flakes here. And we put them all over top, and so it gives you a nice little holiday Christmas feel with the peppermint. So here you can see, you don't even really need to do anything. I'm just kind of breaking it as easy as I can. And so here you can just peel it off, and we have a big giant chunk, right? So, you know, and you can imagine, you know, giving this to friends or just having it as like a nice little snack for people, you know, if you have some kind of party type of thing. The dark chocolate, like I said, is rich in antioxidants. So it's a really, really good little snack. So I'm going to, yes. So the rosemary, so the teaspoon of the fresh rosemary, I actually just took a couple of sprigs, maybe like 4 or 5 sprigs, and I ripped them in half to release the oils. And then I just sprinkled it on top at the end. So I didn't put it into the mixture when I was mixing it while it was melting down. I put it at the end, kind of as a garnish type of thing. Because, you know, you want it to be kind of sitting on top, because when you bite into it, it's when it'll release the flavors. Whereas if it's mixed, it's going to be covered in chocolate. So I'm going to kind of break up a couple of pieces here so we could try. But this is a very, very delicious little treat, I think. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. I got a couple of really good pieces in here. This was supposed to make 12, but I feel like it, you know, I'm getting a lot more pieces than that. But it really just depends on how big you want to do this, you know. But I feel like nothing too huge is good, because when it's dark chocolate, it could be a little too decadent. So this is kind of what we have now. And so I kind of broke it up into little pieces, you know, this kind of thing. And you can kind of play with the pieces, you know, if you want them to be more square type of thing. So it was very easy. I would say this probably in total was maybe about, with prep, maybe took about an hour and that kind of thing. It was maybe about 30 minutes prep and then 30 minutes freezing, and then however long it took me to break this up. So I really don't think it's that difficult of a recipe, but what we can do is we can definitely put some out for everybody to try. And then we'll pass it out, and then we can talk about it and all the different flavors that we're tasting in here. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll do this one here. Okay. Oh, here you go. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's enough. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 maybe? Yeah, you pick whichever piece you'd like. That is the chocolate bark. So what are we tasting? What are we thinking about it? What are the textures? How are we feeling about the textures? Are we getting any rosemary or any orange zest? Orange zest, okay. Not lots of rosemary, okay. You're getting the peppermint as well? Okay. We did, you know, I will say we did kind of break up the peppermint a lot. And I noticed like it was more powdery than it was like peppermint chunks. But in a little bit, when we start kind of doing our little trail mix, you get to decide if you want chunky peppermints or powdery peppermints to kind of coat your trail mix. So we'll kind of determine, you know, what you kind of like. And you can always think about what are some things that you think you could do differently. Would you add little snowflake peppermint styles, or would you add maybe a different type of dried fruit? Are there different ways that you can make this? This recipe actually was just a regular chocolate bark, so I kind of just changed a couple of different things to make it more holiday themed. So the idea of that was just kind of show how you can kind of change it, this or that, but still get some benefits. So yeah, the nuts, yeah. There's lots of pistachios in there. Additionally, when we were kind of talking about the orange zest and the pistachios, pistachios have iron in them, and the oranges have vitamin C, so they'll kind of help with the absorption of iron. So this is kind of one of the benefits that you'll get from eating the chocolate bark. It's a nice size source of iron. So that's what we have there. Does anybody have any questions about this recipe or anything like that? Okay. Yeah, and definitely, good. Definitely, if you feel like, I would like more rosemary, maybe some salt or something like that, on top to give it a little bit more, definitely start thinking about those things, because we want you to take this information and use it at home, right? And start doing those things. So that's what we'd have for the chocolate bark. So I kind of give everybody a minute to kind of gather up and get ready for the next recipe, which we're going to do. It is the holiday trail mix. Yeah. Oh, it's too sweet. Okay, so we actually use, I don't know if I still have the bag, but we use the H-E-B brand semi-sweet chocolate. It's a semi-sweet, H-E-B chocolate. So so you can, if you prefer the chocolate there better. And if it melts the same, I think it'll be okay, and it should freeze just as good. So whatever chocolate you like, if you're like, maybe I would like more of a milk chocolate kind of gal. Or, you could even do like a little bit of dark chocolate, or add more dark chocolate to take out some of that sweetness if you'd like to add some more bitter into it. So definitely play around with the chocolate too. I think that would be very good. I know there's some yummy like peppermint chocolates out there too, which would be very nice little addition to that. But I think, are we all ready to move on to the trail mix? Yes. Okay. So in terms of sugar, you really should keep it under about, I think it's like 10% of your daily calories. So, you want to just keep it as low as possible. For each meal, I'm not sure what would be the recommended sugar amount, like per each meal. What do you think would be? Like if somebody could look at sugar and say, okay, I'm going to keep it under this, what would be that golden number?
So I don't think there's a golden number for sugar. It just depends on your needs. If you're diabetic, it's going to be different than if you're able to eat all types of foods. So I think it depends. With added sugar, I know anything under like 15, 20 grams, it's not the golden number, but just some recommendations that we give. 15 grams is usually one serving of carbohydrates. So it just depends.
Yeah, so you'd want to keep it at least maybe like less than that. So if you see anything that has a little bit of excess sugar, you're like, oh, this has like 30 grams or something. You're like, yeah, maybe it's something that I can, try to avoid. And
to keep in mind, if it is 30 grams, it's going to be about 2 servings of carbohydrates.
Yeah. So, and then of course there's different ways to kind of reduce the sugar content as well. So maybe if you didn't want to do dried cranberries, you could do a different type of fruit, like a chopped up strawberry or raspberries or blackberries, because those definitely don't have any kind of sugar that we should be worrying about. So, yeah. So there's definitely some options there for you. But moving on to the holiday trail mix. So this is a really fun one. This is just kind of tying into that whole smart snacking idea. I found that this was kind of a cute smart snack holiday theme, something you can probably have throughout your work day, or you could even gift to somebody as well. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do something like this. But what you have in front of you on your tray is you have a couple of different ingredients. And this is each ingredient on here has 2 servings, so you'll share it with your partner. But we have some popcorn here. This is just some lightly sea salted popcorn. The brand is Boom Chicka Pop. But you're really just going for anything that doesn't have any crazy butter calories or anything like that. It's just your plain whole grain popcorn with a little bit of sea salt in it. Here we have I'm sorry, did you have a question? No. Okay. Here we have a Chex Mix. So kind of what I was trying to do with this holiday trail mix is I was trying to make a rendition of our puppy chow that we're so used to eating during the holidays, which is kind of like a trail mix, but it's like loaded with powdered sugar, and it has like green and red, like M&Ms and mushrooms and all kinds of stuff. So we want to do something that's a little bit better, but still is giving you those holiday vibes, right? So here we have the Chex Mix, which is still giving you like the texture that you would get in that puppy chow, but it's a whole grain Chex Mix with a little bit of honey in it. So honey flavored, like the Chex cereal actually is Chex cereal. Next, we have some pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are really, really high in protein. And of course, they have some iron in them as well. So we love that kind of stuff. It's good for your bones. Additionally, we have those cranberries again. This is a fun little dried fruit or fruit to have during the season. It's a seasonal one. So we like to have it for Thanksgiving and for Christmas as well. Additionally, everybody should have some dark chocolate chips. So we're not using the semi-soft chocolate chips, the ones that you didn't like. These are a different flavor. So maybe you want to try one before you throw it in your Chex Mix, see if it'll work, or in your trail mix, see if it'll work. But we did do some Hershey's special dark chocolate for that. So to kind of mimic the powdered sugar, we're doing some yogurt pretzels. So some pretzels covered in yogurt. So it's a little bit different, it's not going to have, not just pure sugar. We have a little bit more purpose in what we're kind of putting. So a little bit more protein in there, a little bit better for you and our pretzels. And then we have a nice little candy cane, which we'll split it in half. Don't worry, not everybody's going to get one full candy cane. They're still nutrition based. So we'll do half a candy cane if you choose. And then we'll kind of go there. For the little, for the pretzels here, each person will get 3 in their trail mix. So that's kind of how that's going to work. So everybody has a tiny little bag here. This is going to be your trail mix bag. So this is kind of going to be where you put everything in. Everything is pretty much split in half. So here we have our 1 cup of popcorn. So everybody would get a half cup. I'm not sure if we have. So we could just split it, or I think we need to pass out some half cups. Do you mind passing out some half cups? Okay, if everybody has a 4th cup, you could do 2 4th cups. I think that's an 1/8 cup. Let's see. We're going to pass around our 4th cup.
So we're putting our pretzels
We're putting our popcorn in the bag first. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. You can put them in there. That's fine. Oh, okay. So we'll do, oops, I just spilled a bunch. So I'm going to have to pass out a half. Allie's passing out a half cup right now. So we'll just kind of do a nice little half cup and we'll throw it in here. Yeah, Boom Chicka Pow. Mm-hmm. The popcorn. The yellow one, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. This one works. Skinny Pop also works too. That one's fine too. Popcorn is a great whole grain, so it's going to have a little bit of protein in there, and it's going to have some fiber as well, which is very good for you. So we're going around. If it makes it easier, you could just split whatever's there in half. You know what, let me give you, here's a half cup.
Oh, there's a half.
Yeah, here you go.
No.
And so each one of you will get one. Yeah. Perfect. So once everybody has their popped popcorn in their little baggie, next we have our Honey Nut Chex cereal. So we'll do another half cup of that in here, in our little baggie here. So I'm just going to do half of this in here. And feel free to just shake it up as you're kind of pouring everything inside. Yeah. Yeah, so if we want to move on to the pretzels, what we can do is, with the pretzels, we can do what we are going to do with the candy cane. And what we can do is we can actually put them in. So we have one of these baggies too. Everybody should have a bag like this. And this is going to be your crushing bag. So that's going to be the bag that you kind of use to crush all your things. So you could also crush your pretzels if you wanted to. And it's going to kind of give you more, it won't be so huge for your bag. So you could do that as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can crush our pretzels. So what we'll do, I have this bag. So we have our pretzels. I'm going to get 3 pretzels. So if you have the back of your cup or half cup, you could just kind of give it a couple of good whacks. And you'll have a nice crunch. And gauge how big you want your size to be. You want giant chunks of pretzels or you want tiny chunks? Okay. So if you don't want to use that, you could also use a rolling pin, that kind of thing. If you have like an ice muddler to muddle ice, you could use that too. And then we'll go ahead and drop that in our little bag here. I know our bag is a little tiny, so if you want to trade out your bag for this bag, do that, and then this will just be our crushing bag, this little tiny one. Okay. I realize that now, so. But it's okay, we make it work. Okay. So now we got our nice little crushed yogurt pretzels in there. We can take our cranberries here, and we're going to take a half cup of these cranberries. So here's my quarter cup. So do 2 of these, and these are going to add some antioxidants, a nice little pop of fruit, which will be good. Actually, so there we go. Now, looking at your trail mix, you could see there's some color in there now. It's not just brown and white. Now there's a little bit of red in there too, which we love. Okay. So once that's kind of done, we can add our dark chocolate chips now. Okay. So it's just a quarter cup of dark chocolate chips. So we're going to kind of throw some of that in there. And you don't have to do the full amount of chocolate chips if you don't want. You can definitely do less, or you could do none as well. That's okay too. It's really what you want and what you can kind of add to make your trail mix your own. So last but not least, well, almost last, we'll do our pumpkin seeds. So we're going to add a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds if you haven't already. So we'll kind of throw that in there. And then we'll shake it up really nice. So we've kind of already done our yogurt pretzels. So now we can move on to crushing our peppermint. So what we can do is, how I like to open my peppermint is I just take the bottom part of the peppermint and I just kind of try to pop it out, and you have a nice little, so you just kind of you kind of try to unravel the bottom plastic part of the peppermint and you just pull it off, and you should be able to kind of unravel it from there. Are you okay? Oh yeah, of course. There you go. Ooh. So it unravels very nicely for you. And so just break off a piece and give the smaller one to your partner. I'm just kidding. Oh. So this is enough. And so just like that, if you want to break it with your hands, if you want to, does anybody want to borrow the rolling pin? You could do that too. Oh yeah, of course. So there we go. Just a FYI, everybody, if you whack on your little bag too much, you might create some little holes, so just be wary. So once you're done, you got your nice little chunks, as chunky as you want them. Go ahead and throw them in your trail mix. All right. I think I am going to trade out my bag now for a bigger one. Okay. So now at this point, we're just going to shake up our bags. Shake, shake, shake. I'm going to dump this in here. Get it nice and shaken up. Very good stuff, very good stuff. All right. All right, and there you have it, everybody. Now, try to grab, now that we have our little, we're going to do our respect bite. So just try to grab a nice little handful or a nice little snack type handful of your mix. And tell me what you think. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you would do differently, that kind of thing. What does everybody think? Very nice. Well, looking at so a quarter cup serving is 130 calories for here. So, something like 2 of that would be okay, maybe. Well, at least once for a snack and like maybe another one. Something like. No, so your whole bag has 2 servings in it, I believe. Right? Yeah, your whole bag has 2 servings in it. So, yeah. So your whole bag is about 260 calories in here. Let's see, you've got about 50 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. And I'm doubling this a little bit. Now, looking at the sugars, we can change this again. You can reduce the amount of peppermint that you put, and you can change out the dried cranberries for a fresh berry instead, or something fresh. Or if you wanted to even do maybe like a little bit of like orange zest too, it could give it some more flavor too as well, without, adding sugar to it. Okay, so. Yeah, fresh blueberries as well. You can do that as well. The only thing, if you do something fresh like that, you just want to make sure that you keep it, in cold or something like that. You could even do like freeze dried, so where they don't really put like sugar in it, they just kind of suck out all the moisture. Those are also pretty good. Yes. Yes.
You said that this bag is 2 servings. 2 servings made at the recipe that was half, or 2 servings when you make the recipe?
So it's 2 1/4 cup servings. Yep. 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 Yes. Yes. So this is kind of what we have now. This is our little moment. Oh. Did I put chocolate chips in here? Oh, okay. I'm gonna get another bag. Maybe like salt, or maybe like a salty flavor, you think? Or maybe more crunch, maybe like walnuts or something, like give it more crunch. Well, it has crunch from this, but maybe like more nuts. Right, like needs more nuts maybe. Yeah, walnuts, or yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right, everybody. Would anybody like a slice of orange? I have a bunch of orange here. Oh, you want some more bark? Yeah, we have some more bark as well.
That's what I want, the bark.
And then this one. Yes. Yeah, so for this recipe, we did dark, the special dark chocolate, which is the Hershey's brand, special dark. It's called special dark. So I think it's because of the ratio. I think it's like 70% or 80% dark chocolate, something like that. So it's like Hershey's version of dark chocolate. So yeah. All right. So it looks like this one does have milk in it. It says 2% milk. So maybe you can look for a vegan chocolate chip, something like that, that has like no dairy. But yes, everyone, this concludes the class. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, please let me know.